You are listening to the 312 Squadron podcast. My name is Nicholas Dashwood Sperry, and I am joined by the NCX Draft League czar and XWA Points team member, Greg Kash. What's up, Greg?
Hey, how's it going? It's not Saturday, but it could be.
Yeah, it's Monday. It feels like Monday. Today's Monday feels like it doesn't feel like Monday, but also I have to remind myself it is, and then I get just depressed
Sure.
because it sucks that it's Monday. But
Yeah.
we get here we are doing another interview series for the podcast. This is episode 21. We're recording on the end of September. Get ready, Green Day. It's time to wake up. You get that reference?
I do. Yeah. I was there when they released that song that was played on the radio. That might be actually my least favorite Green Day song.
It's their least favorite too, because I went to a 3-hour Green Day concert and they didn't play it. So I think they don't like playing that song. I believe they're tired of it. Hey man, we're talking about the draft league and XWA today.
Sure.
Lots to talk about. Some of this we've talked about the draft league in a similar sense in the past in terms of just like what it is, but I think as you know, you are a part of XWA and the league keeps growing. I think it's kind of nice to circle back on kind of why it exists and like what the hell it is for the few people out there who might not know, which is not many. So like, why did you start the draft league again? Why don't you give us a refresher on that?
Well, basically, I started because I was sick of asking people to stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I was like, well, if they have games that they have to play, maybe they'll do it on their own. No, it's just our little fun little league that we got going. Got 20 teams now, 180 players.
It's nothing.
Yeah,
It's nothing.
yeah, just a couple people. Definitely never any personality conflicts, and it's just going great.
Yeah. How would you describe the draft league? Obviously, it's in the name. Players get drafted, but like, how does that work? You have two separate drafts. There's a captain's draft that happens. Is it what, the week before?
Yeah, a week
So like, how
before.
does all that work?
So the captain's draft is basically reverse order from standings, and the captains pick where they're going to draft players. And there's certain advantages to going first. Like you go first, you have your complete pick of the players. But you go 20th, you get 20 in the 21st pick because it's a stake draft for the players draft. So
Right.
there's a little bit of strategy there, and some people prefer getting two higher ranked picks. Some people prefer getting the one high and then the one lower. So just a fun little thing that captains can kind of devise their season, how they want to build their teams.
And you're a big football guy, right? So were you inspired by like football in particular, or just that, how obviously all major sports have drafts? Like, was that just you just wanted a sportsy feeling kind of X-wing league?
Yeah, it's like I would say it probably takes more from hockey than it does football, but yeah, just like sports leagues in general is a good way to
Yeah.
put it. It's like a sports league for X-wing.
In this season, I mean, with 180 players, it's I think yet again, it's like about 2 months, right? Like not including the playoffs, or is that right?
Yeah. So 10 weeks plus playoffs, 14
Two and
weeks.
a half months.
So
Nice.
it could go like 3.5 months, and then I don't think
Wow.
we're scheduled for any weeks off right now. I think we've timed it so we get to like the holidays by the playoffs. I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah, we've been kind of plugging in our leagues in between, like during the off season, to kind of hold people over. So it's been perfect. Because like I just got done with ours. It was exhausting. I'm like, you know what? Can't wait to play the draft league. Can't wait to not have to deal with any of this shit. Greg gets to deal with it now. You have a lot of it automated though. I know that it's
Yeah.
probably been kind of it's been, is it stressful like now, even though you've been able to automate a lot of stuff? I know James has been able to help you with that from GSP. Like, where are you at now when it comes to like the workload of managing this whole thing?
Honestly, so much of it now is automated. Like this season, like last season, there was still a lot of manual stuff, and like James really helped me. And then this season, almost all of it is automated, so it hasn't been that bad. Like I still have to like enter scores and stuff, and like enter
Yeah.
matchups, and well, matchups I try to just copy over if the captains do the formatting right. But yeah, I mean, I would say the workload is just in moderating rather than like
Mhm.
keeping track of things. I finally reached a point where I can't read every chat that happens in every team chat.
Yeah, you miss a lot, dude. I just go in there. I'm like, is anyone talking about me? Anybody got anything to say? Will somebody attack me, please? Like it's the same tired playbook, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna read 180 messages. Like, what did I miss? What did I miss? TLDR, please. Oh man, yeah. I mean, your Discord is I don't think it's a leap to say it is by far the most active X-wing Discord that exists. It just in terms of just the activity across all the channels in there. I mean, is that fair to say? I feel like that's pretty accurate, right? Like you don't want to toot your own horn, but like I feel like that's
I don't
true.
know. Like I don't.
Congrats, you get a cookie. I know, but like, like I mean, what does
I
that
don't
mean?
know. Like I feel like there's like different discords for people's niche interests, and I've tried to segment our Discord off so that like people can selectively mute things they don't give a shit about. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I think that helps because like you can, if you only care about X-wing, you can literally mute like everything else except the X-wing channels, and then you're not gonna, you don't have to deal with my shitty takes on Buffalo Bills football.
I think we've seen on both of our discords. Yours is more exponentially. And again, it's not like a competition, or maybe it is, right? Chicago, Buffalo, but I mean, we've seen them grow a lot the last, I'd just say 2 years, right? And
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like with this past summer, ours grew like very quickly in a short period of time that I was pretty much ambushed by it. I was like overwhelmed. Have you felt that where you're like you went from your Discord having like let's say 200 people to having like 500 plus people? Like, do you feel that? I know now we're talking about Discord, but
Um,
it's just something interesting to think about. Is like someone who helps like run community X-wing stuff. Is that something that crosses your mind? And I was like, holy crap, there's so many people here.
sometimes I think right now I'm looking at it. We've got I don't know, maybe like around 550 in the Discord, but like not everyone's active. Like there's a lot of people, or sometimes I'll get like a notification that someone left the Discord, and like no offense to anyone, but I'll be like, I don't. Who is that? I have no idea who that is. Of course they left. Why would I? Who are you?
Yeah, I mean, I just left during this call, so
Yeah, I get
you
it.
should see that notification come through. Yeah, no, it's I had a little speaking of the draft league though, I have a little game for you if you'd indulge me, okay? I have a timer for 30 seconds.
All right,
I'd like you to name every team in 30 seconds or less.
I'll be able to. Let's do it.
It's going to be hard. Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Havoc, Hot Shots, Mega Milk Union, Foxes, Order 66, KDB, Shadowcasters, Wolfpack, Fixer's Oath, Star Killers, Berserkers, Rave Crab,
Oh,
Punishers, Degenerates,
God.
Maulers. Damn.
I think you did that was almost all of them though. What did you miss? I
I
like
counted internally, I counted 15. I think I was missing five.
okay. So whatever 5 teams Greg didn't mention, I don't really care about you particularly much.
To be fair, that was more bad time control than not knowing. I think I was on the roll there because I
Yeah.
know NJO, I know Moncala, I know Firebirds, and then there's two more.
They're yeah, I mean 20 yeah, it's a lot of teams. 20 teams. I think I joined when there were was it 8 maybe? Like
So the
Titter
first
Gods.
season there were four, and then the next season I think there were eight.
Yeah. So season 2 and 3 took a break for 4, came back for 5, here we are for 6. 6 seasons. Do you ever think like it doesn't seem like I feel like I know the answer to this question.
Sure.
I don't see why you would. But do you ever think about pivoting to like a different type of format for a league? Like, would you go 20 seasons or 10 seasons? Or 20 is insane, but
Oh,
like,
so there is one thing that I like drew up the plans for, and I was like, "There's no way I can make this work, but I would love to do it." I wanted to convert draft league into a salary cap system where players get like contracts with like numbers, and you have to build your team to stay within like a salary cap.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh my
It
god,
would be
the
so
way you would
fun, but
attribute
like,
value would be so biased and
yeah, it'd be awful, and like I think people would feel bad, like, but like,
I'm worth nothing. Get the league
it
minimum here.
seemed okay. It also like without any way to actually like, you sign someone to 8 or whatever, like without 8 actually meaning anything. What's to stop a team from just being like, okay, you're two, 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 two. I formed super team.
Yeah.
So fundamentally, it doesn't work, but I do love it.
It would be cool to have, like, fake press conferences where we, like, announce, like, a monster signing, you're like, "Yeah, yeah, this season we got big contract here."
If everyone wasn't friends with, if it was like a more of a business like sports, it would be way better because you could do something like that. But this one would just devolve into like clicks, which is not great. So I mean,
We would need the NCX Draft League sportsbook to open up first. We could all just get drunk and bet on X-Wing games.
well, I thought
A
about doing
lot
it based on standings, right? And declaring like the top 10 people are worth 10, the next 10 are worth 9, blah 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 blah, based on last year's standings, and
Okay.
that's what you have to sign them to. And then you have to kind of build your team through that. There was a whole plan in place. It just was like overly complicated, and the captains are not paid. Be like, listen,
Yeah.
I understand you all have lives and a job, but I'm going to need you to devote more time to this.
I mean, there's almost there is a type of dedication. I don't know if I'd call it seriousness, but a type of loyalty and dedication to the bit and like being a part of the league where I could almost see people getting paid, maybe like minimum wage, but like I just like I can see it. And it's not recommended because
I mean, if we ever started like making money, like I wouldn't be opposed to it, but like we
yeah.
just, I mean, okay, well, Lambolo dropped a huge donation the other day, so this is like the
Oh,
first
that's
month I'm
awesome.
gonna come up like plus in a while.
He donated us too. He's been
Yeah,
just so amazingly generous. It's crazy. I mean, dude, it's crazy. I feel like there's people are like, oh, he got, for example, just in terms of money when it comes to streaming, like our Zencaster subscription ironically came up and we renewed it, which is so funny because Zencaster has been giving us issues today. And Andrew's like, well, we got our Patreon, we can, just pay with that. I'm like, yep, but it's just one of those things where it's like the if I wanted to just get some stickers printed, it's like boom, $100 for like
right.
one set of like stickers, right? So it's just I feel like it's always important. Then what you pay for like the API features, AI, Buster, like server stuff, like boosts, all the things that Discord you have to have and maintain. Like
Why is
it
Discord Nitro so expensive?
and then
Why?
I didn't realize it was like an additional recurring subscription cost that they tack on. So it's like you want a booster server again, great. That adds $15 a month more to your
Yeah,
already existing
it's
subscription. So
insane.
some people pay like $75 a month for their one Discord account and server. It's just I think it's always good. It just puts it in a perspective, like like somebody dropping $100 donation on Twitch like blows our minds. Like, holy crap, that's thank you so much. That's insane. And then it's
Yeah.
like, all right, well, I could buy one sticker with that. Whoa, let's go. It's just like shit's
Well, the
expensive,
thing
man.
is, like, I mean, Discord knows what it's doing, right? Because like, so many games are streamed on Discord, and I want them people to be able to stream it in quality. So like, I have to buy Nitro for that. I think there's a lot of like hidden costs people may not realize with everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
a
people
lot of
people
hidden costs.
understand that there's equipment and everything and time.
Yeah, I just
I
I
mean, I'm not complaining. It's fine.
no, no, neither am I. I mean, it's nice to be able to do to have money to be able to like do things with it for your stream and for the Discord. Like
Yeah.
it might get spent right away and stuff is expensive, but to be able to just do that in the first place and not have to
Well,
like
I just dump everything back into it because it's not
yeah,
like,
exactly.
what am I gonna do? I have enough money to like go out to a bar, like I'm not gonna.
Yeah, speak for yourself, Greg. A lot of martinis with the Patreon money. You guys can clip that if you want. That's where it all goes. Just the worst martini imaginable, the dirtiest martini. That's it. Let's see. What else did I have for you? All right, so I did take what Elijah
The
asked
Buster
Buster.
questions.
So I do want you to answer these questions from the greatest super real human being that is Buster Skysmudger.
Sure.
And so he has a few questions here. So Buster's first question. If you could draft any creature from the Star Wars universe to pilot an X-Wing, what would it be?
Any creature. So I'm
You could draft any creature. I love that
like I
wording
can't
there.
draft Wedge. Wedge is a creature. Or are we talking about like a
Yeah,
like
that
a
might be too that might be a cop out, you know, like, I'd say Bergollet has to be, like, whatever creature the Bergollet is would probably be what I would pick.
sure. Well, I'm going with Salacious Crumb, the Kowakian monkey wizard. 'Cause he's got the attitude for it.
Yeah,
He's got the fuck you attitude that I look for in my X-Wing pilots.
and we've seen, Babu Frick in a cockpit before, might not be
Yeah,
flying, but, you know, like, Salacious can be there, let's do it.
why not?
Why not? I love that. I love that. Let's see. Question number 2. In a galaxy far, far away, ooh, I see what you did there, Buster. What's the one snack you'd smuggle onto your ship for those long hyperspace jumps?
Well, we have seen that cereal exists, and if we're willing to go expanded universe, in the original Thrawn trilogy, hot chocolate exists. Lando showed Luke hot chocolate, and Luke drinks hot chocolate. So I'm going hot chocolate.
As a snack?
Yeah, tasty little snack.
Okay.
Space is cold.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, you don't need any substance in your body. You don't need any food, just hot chocolate.
No,
I
no
don't
way.
know.
Do you want to have to shit in an X-wing cockpit? Not me.
I don't even want to know what that would look like. We'll have to do a animated recreation of that at some point. That's where our money can go. If the force could be harnessed to improve one mundane task in your daily life, what would it
Cutting
be?
the lawn. You don't even have to cutting the lawn.
Mowing the lawn.
I hate it. I hate mowing the lawn.
I would probably say
You don't have a lawn, so you don't understand. But
I
I hate
don't know.
mowing
I
the
don't
lawn.
understand. I don't understand. I think it's probably because like Chicago's a lot of traffic, foot traffic, traffic in general, vehicles. Just like being able to just like throw stuff to the side to get out of my way. I don't care if there's carnage. Just like
Like people in cars.
yeah, yeah. It's just like divert them, form a path for me. Yeah, exactly. Because like whenever we all do this, when we walk into the grocery store, we all use the force to open the automatic door. If you haven't done that, I would like for you to block me and never speak to me again because we all know we've done that before in our life. Like just thinking about being able to do that to people who are in your way, it would be great. I would love that. Cutting the lawn. Okay. Imagine a world where droids host a talk show. What's their first guest and what's the topic of discussion? Who are the droids? Is my main question. Who would the droids be? K2 is one of them.
That's a good question. I think the answer is Tom Hanks, and they talk about his robust typewriter collection.
Okay, I would think so. I would think the host of the show. So Tom Hanks is good. I think K2SO would probably be like the Conan O'Brien. Like he'd be the main,
No, he's
and then
the Andy Richter.
so who would be the Conan then? If he's Richter, then who would Conan be
3PO.
of droids? But 3PO is like not really funny. He's just kind of annoying.
Disagree. First off,
K2 is funny. I think okay, we agree to disagree. K2 and 3PO are in some way involved in the talk show, whoever's host. Fair enough. Topic of discussion you mentioned what would you say with Tom Hanks? You talk about what again?
his robust collection of typewriters.
Okay. Yeah, that would be very engaging for sure. I absolutely. If you could swap places with any Star Wars character for a day, who would it be and what's the first thing you do? Okay.
All right. I think there's pros and cons to everyone here. Can I go with like any time period?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Great, 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 great. I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
For me, it's definitely swapping places with Boba Fett while he's stuck in the Sarlacc pit. That's just nothing better than that.
Just chilling.
Just chilling. Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna go with like Lando while he's on one of his like gambling.
You do like to gamble, so I could see that. I
It
could
just
see that.
seems like that would be pretty fun, and I'd have like a much better personality for a day. It'd be great.
I don't know. I think Lando and your personality look pretty not too far off. Adjacent zip codes.
Okay, sure.
I'm just talking them up, folks. We all know it's true. What do you think the most Isley Cantina's theme song would be if it were a 1950s jazz hit?
Jesus Christ, superstar.
1950s. Okay, perfect. You answered that immediately. I'm like, I don't know how to answer that question at all. Moving on. If Ewoks started a band, what genre of music would they play, and what would their debut album be called? So in the chat here, give me your ideas as well. I'd love to hear from you.
Um. Okay. Well, obviously they're death metal. It would be
Yes.
called. I want to say like Into the Woods.
To the woods. Yeah. Stormtrooper body bag. I don't know. There
Oh,
could be a few.
Stormtrooper Body Bag's a good band name.
It's a really good
It's
band.
a good band name. All right, so Ewoks, the Stormtrooper Body Bag has just released their album Into the Woods.
A legion of my finest men. I love it. Yep. Didn't work out. That's great. I love that. Let's see, where are we on? Number 8. In an alternate universe, what would the Jedi Order's version of a sports draft look like?
I mean, Luke's the number one pick, clearly.
Yeah,
Then
is Anakin a captain? Does that make Anakin a captain?
I don't know. I think like the different galactic governments are the ones drafting. I'm assuming this is expanded universe where we actually got a Jedi Order. The question is, who becomes pick number two? I think there's three candidates. It's Mara Jade, Kip Duran, Corin Horn.
Hmm.
I think you have to go Kip too.
Who would my second pick? What
Oh, but then you
remind me the
got Jason,
name?
Jaina, and Anakin. Oh no, this could throw a whole thing in the. Are they draft eligible or are they
Oh,
still?
how does this all work? How does this work? What's the name of the guy the in the pod racer that
Bulba.
he no, it's the guy who never gets off the ground. He's my number 2 pick.
He's not a Jedi.
Oh, yeah, we're only doing Jedi Order. It doesn't matter. He's force sensitive. Did you see the way he hit that pit droid? There's definitely some force influence there for sure. That's how the force works. I've decided.
Man, my Jedi team would kick the shit out of your Jedi
Mace
team.
Windu would probably be my yes, it would. Mace Windu would be my number 2 pick. In all
Well, if
seriousness,
we're going
Mace.
back, then I mean Yoda's got to be number
Yeah.
two. Why wouldn't you go
Well,
Yoda?
yeah.
Mace knows Yoda would kick his ass.
That would be a tough fight for Mace for sure. If you had to choose a Star Wars vehicle as your daily ride, which one would it be, and how would you handle parking?
Daily ride. What's my favorite ship? Well, the Falcon was my favorite ship, pretty much. Man, that's tough because I find so much. I think I want like a bigger ship so I can like walk around and shit. Like I don't want to be stuck in a cockpit. So I am gonna go with a YT 2400
Okay.
because it's a little bit smaller than the Falcon, but plenty of room, and I think it looks cool.
A lot of you would expect me to say E-wing. A lot of you expect me to say E-wing. I'd say Jabba's sail barge would be my ride.
And you can't
And
park
I
that
would
anywhere. You can't park that.
exactly. What I'm gonna do is because it hovers, I'll park it over every other car.
It rains one time, everything in it starts getting moldy.
That's what the service staff is for. They're all paid on there. Don't worry. It's like a giant party bus you take wherever you go, and you just park on top of all the normal human cars. My backup choice would be the cloud car because it just seems stupid, and I love it. Like if we could get that in X-wing,
You can't
like a
fly that alone.
one attack
You would
die.
always need a buddy to fly that with you.
uh, we just get I'm sure Tesla would make one have like a self-driving like co-pilot.
Copilot. Okay.
It all makes sense. Don't question any of my logic. What's
Sure.
the
No.
what's the one what's the one piece of advice you'd give to a Jawa looking to break into the X-wing draft league? Just a Jawa specifically, apparently.
Houdini. I think that pretty much says it all.
I'd say, listen, your eyes are creeping people out. If you want to be able to look your opponent in the eye, you're gonna need to get colored contacts.
I wouldn't judge them based on appearance, and I'd just take them for the player that they are. But I guess that's just us here at Nickel City X Wing.
Yeah. 312 is a little bit more pretentious, apparently. But that's our brand, right? 312. Apparently, we've decided just the collectively, and yeah, absolutely. You ready to switch gears really quick? Talk about FWA. For those of you guys that didn't know, Buster Sky Spudger is Greg's like amazing. Like, what would you describe? He's an AI sideline reporter for the draft league, but you could just ask him about
Yeah, he was
anything.
meant to be a reporter, and it's gone too far.
Yeah. And he's been every time somebody tags him, you spend like a couple cents, right?
Yeah, it's gone too
thanks,
far.
thanks a lot, Sevwall. Appreciate it, buddy. It's gone way too far. So yeah, you guys, you sub to Greg, and then you if you use Buster, he just doesn't get any of that money back. Just gotta double the subs, twice the pride, double the fall.
Was that the gear shifting we were doing?
No, I just forgot to mention at the top of the questions like who Buster was because people might not
Oh yeah,
know. I don't know. Yeah, that's on me. That's on me.
he was supposed to write articles summing up that week's draft league action.
It's gone too far.
It's gone too far.
So XWA,
Yes.
you have been a lot busier than I have been, I think, on a daily basis when it comes to the X-wing alliance just
Or
because you
maybe
were a
like a
part of it.
month ago. Like,
Yeah, I mean, now it's easier. You're just kind of waiting and seeing like how things are going and evolving,
ah,
right? I mean, but
I
let's be
hate
fair. Like,
waiting.
I mean, point being a part of the points team is like not easy when it comes to just like, especially when it came to you guys actually creating and testing and iterating the beta points that we have now. So, like, what is it like being a part of the points team? You work with Dale Cromwell, Catherine Nixera, and Ollie Pocknell is the lead. Like, how has that been?
It's been good. A lot of like you would not believe the amount of things that come up, like so much more complicated than you think when you start. You're like, okay, so points here. And then you like touch one upgrade and you're like, oh my God, this is gonna impact everything in these
Yeah,
thousands of factions. Like
dear
it's
Lord.
insane. It's insane the amount of like I don't know what the word is, but like it's insane how much like one little change reverberates throughout the whole system. So it's something you always got to consider. And then you'll be like, oh, this is a common sense change. And then someone points out, but like, oh, that enables this combo. And you're like, oh my God, no, we can't have that. It's like there's so much that goes on. But it's fun. It's fun. It's a little stressful. It was more stressful when we were testing every day because we had like a month to test
Yeah,
a whole, game's worth of changes. Sometimes we were making like 2 to 3 changes a day. But now it's kind of just like collecting data and
right.
observing games and just making notes.
Do you think that even though it's just a beta, right now we're in beta points land. Like, would you think you could have used more time before the beta points, or are you happy with a month is not a lot of time?
I mean, sure, yeah, of course. You could always use more time. How many people leave the game? How many people are playing something that they're kind of bored with because we hadn't got changed? Like we didn't know that AMG was going to do the points update, right? Like we didn't no one knew that was coming. So like as far as we knew, what you had was what was going to be for the rest of our lives. So like we had already kind of seen, and again, I don't know the cost. I don't want to speculate the cost, but we had kind of seen interest dropping a little bit, and it felt like getting it out sooner was the correct
It's like now or
choice.
never. Yeah.
Not even now or never, just like now or how many people leave and we're never able to get them back.
So you felt like there was just almost like a duty of urgency to just like, hey, like,
The urgency I felt was also the boredom I felt. I mean, I can talk to a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. Between me and you, we probably watch more X-Wing than almost anyone here, really. And I don't know, I was bored of seeing the same stuff all the time.
the triple arcs and assault wasn't scratching that itch
Well,
for
it
you
just
anymore.
like I can't even like hate on the people flying it. It's the correct thing to fly. We
Yeah.
figured it out. It's the correct thing.
Yeah.
So like, but like how long do you want to be in that, If you have the power to change that up a little bit, I think you have to kind of do it. And yeah. I mean, it's so far so good, but I don't know, maybe there's a revolt coming. I don't know.
Oh gosh, I don't. Well, as far as I know, not yet.
Yeah, I
So
don't think they're going to
yes.
tell us before they revolt. They just do it.
Like,
It's like
hey,
a
it just heads up. There's gonna be a
yeah.
revolt on Friday.
It's
Bring snacks. There's gonna
heads
be
up.
potluck before.
Got the hot chocolate.
just, just a little to bring that hot chocolate, that hot chalky. Oh man, how do you guys like work together? Like, I mean, you don't obviously, we're peeling back like a tiny bit of the curtain.
Sure.
We don't believe in like secrecy, but also like it's important for the integrity of our operation to not like just say everything we're doing. But like, what roles have you seen like Dale take on? How is Catherine helping? You working with Ollie and the three of you coming together with him? Like, what does that kind of look like?
So Ollie has the final say in everything, but he's very good and gracious about listening to everybody. And I can straight up tell you that anything he's like overruled me on, it's been after he's given me ample time to present my argument, and then he's given his like counter argument, and then just been like, I feel like this, and like, okay, I lost that one. But there have been plenty where he's felt a way and I felt another way. I've given an argument and he's been like, that's a good point. And he's gone how I felt. or how Catherine felt, or how Dell felt, whatever. So it's very collaborative, but Ollie does have the final decision. Like I can't just like go in and be like, this is changing. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's good because I have to come at him with a change. If I come at him with a change, it has to be I have to back it up. It can't just be like something I feel. I have to actually be able to like present like this is happening, this is happening. Check out this. Check out this.
And you were playing a lot of games too and testing stuff, right? Like during internal testing, like you were a part of. I mean, you guys were all testing.
Yeah, I mean it's the most X-wing I've probably played in yeah forever.
How did that go? Like, I mean, that's exhausting. But like, let's say your 15th game in, like, were you still like, were you excited by the prospect that you were like, you were a part of this process, or was there a lot of fatigue when it came to just like, that
Honestly,
crunch?
I'm not someone who likes playing the same thing like twice a lot, but like for me, it was just more work. I kind of approached it as more of a I'm researching right now. This is not me playing the game for funsies.
Yeah.
And we did have a playtest team internally, like 50 or so people. So we got a lot of data from them. And then, when the new ships come out, I was like, well, we're gonna have to put these points in because I don't want people
Oh yeah,
not
that
being able to
sells.
play the points. Yeah. When the new gunboats come out. So I played probably 20, 25 games and watched like 50 others with them because I mean that's you take a job, right? You gotta
Yep.
be as prepared as you can be for that job. I had to know how they feel to fly. I had to watch them in other people's hands, including like much better players than me. So it's just like in like a week, I probably got like 50 to 75 games worth of
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
SL experience because literally just every night I was just watching game after game after game after game because it's just you have to, right? Like you have to. You can't just sit there and guess. Like you have to put in a little bit of work.
Yeah. Two follow-up questions to that. So the first one is again, we have our more emotional response or feeling to this, but like the criticism that maybe the X-Wing Alliance points team doesn't favor or doesn't like, let's just, instead of saying hate, this doesn't
Sure, I
particularly
got you.
care for SLs, right? Uh, w- Whereas there are plenty that are more playable now than they were before. Like, what is your kind of general response to that if it's not someone that's totally just trying to troll?
Sure. First off, I think the only SLs that went up were ones that were dominating. And I mean, we okay, so SLs by their nature raise the power level of the game. Under AMG's like construction, they raise the power level of the game. Even if we wanted to like reset the power level, so like oh gosh, how do I explain it? All right. So we figure the top SL card was around 150, 160% of the power level of the game. So it was like
It's high.
over half, maybe 60% more efficient than the power level of the game. So if we thought, okay, let's bring this down to 100, then the cost of those ships would have to be like Jendon would be 9, Suntir would be 8. It'd be unplayable. Like they would forever just be basically points banned. Like you're not
Yeah.
gonna Colonel Jennings really good, but he's not half your list good. So we decided on 130, and that was specifically so we could keep SLs in the game. So to me, that criticism is a little wonky because we like made concessions to keep them in the game. And I get it. Like I totally get that there are a lot of people that just love flying an OP ship and like a ship that does everything, gets a shield upgrade, etc. Like just does everything. It's kind of like what's the game with Starkiller, The Force Unleashed, right? Like
Yeah. Oh
it's like
man.
you're just like completely like oblivious to like the reality of Star Wars or whatever, and it's just like and that's fun, and I get that, and there's nothing wrong with liking that, in my opinion. I don't think anyone would criticize anyone for enjoying that kind of thing. But for a game you're trying to balance, and I know we'll never get balance 100% right, but we can strive to, we can try. It's not healthy to like have those kind of cards be the dominant card.
Right.
in the
I
game.
mean, somebody would almost argue like the counter argument to that I don't buy into is like, well, other players against that person were using the same thing, so the power level would, at least in tournaments, would be even or close to even. You'd be bringing the Tomax against and Deathfire against triple arcs, SOC arcs or whatever, and it's like okay, but the
But then
problem is,
every
at least for
matchup
me, that
is
everybody's bringing the same archetypes per faction, and it's the same
yeah,
3 or
there's
4
there's
factions
no
getting
balance
played.
in the game. Like again and again, like I think only one SL card is more than 1 point more expensive than the AMG points. I could be wrong, but I think that's true. And it's the new Whisper because AMG has it at 5.
Mahler,
What SL
Mythal went
is
up.
above? Did it go up more than 1 point?
Oh, you're saying by more than 1 point. I got you. I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
I heard that wrong. Yeah, I don't recall anything being a plus,
I think it's
2
only
or
SL
more.
Whisper who
Yeah.
is 2 points higher. Everything else that went up is one, and some didn't go up at all. Like Mouse is still sitting there. Uh, Everyone keeps telling me how great Mouse is. I played with
Some stuff went
Mouse a
down.
couple times.
Aiden.
Well, like Aiden. So Aiden is at 4. I'm not sure that's down or up. I don't know if that actually went down at all.
He was 5 before.
See, I fought for Aiden to be at 4. I kind of regret it now because he's super good
Yeah.
now that people are playing it. I didn't realize that. I guess I like underestimated how much lower initiatives were going to be back in the game.
Isn't that
'Cause
amazing to say out loud?
yeah, well, I knew some low initiatives were going to, but I thought like maybe that like the floor being I5 was going to move to I4. I didn't think we were going to see so many I3s, I2s, I1s in the game. So like when I looked at Aiden, I was like, he's an I1. He might get 2 defense dice, but like how long is this viewing actually going to
Yeah.
last? And then it turns out that people really were um not starving's the wrong word, but wanting to play a lot of these lower initiative ships and finding good combos in these lower initiative
Mhm.
ships.
I would have noticed with Aiden, I've played maybe half a dozen games with him, is that if people just ignore him, and I feel like it's always hard to gauge the power level of a piece that is efficient at its price, but just gets ignored. Because if you're not shooting at it, how
Yeah.
do you gauge like how good or bad it is when it's not defending enough
Yeah,
for
it
data
is. And
purposes?
it's
Like,
like just like through the last like 4 years, 5 years or whatever, we've just been kind of like trained to ignore lower initiative ships. Like it's just how the game's gone, and we've like gotten in that habit of being like, all right, this I1
yeah,
is not a threat to me. And then it
yeah,
turns out that that
or it's
I1,
just not worth it.
yeah, it's a threat. It's like,
Yeah. Well, like how often, Greg, when you're playing AMG points, when set Trigger Happy Flyboy Poe, how often were you actually taking shots at him unless he was the only shot you had? Like, you have other targets, like, 'cause he's just,
yeah,
unless you got a kill
there's
box on him, you just don't bother. And he's 7
it's
points and he's worth the points, but
their version leads you to a different line of thinking and target priority.
yeah.
And so like if you port that over to these points, you kind of maybe aren't doing it correctly, like correctly in quotes, because like play however you want, like max efficiency or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
so there's plenty of SLs, and the thing is, in Draft League, Republic is dominating. And I'll tell you what, every game we've streamed, there's been SL arcs in there, even though 2 of them went up. We've had plenty
Yeah.
of SL arcs in Draft League. We've had SL everything in Draft League being played that I've seen so far.
Yeah. Let's tying into that. I had a question written down about the draft league and XWA points. So I wrote out here, what are your thoughts on how everything is looking so far as it pertains to the draft league, and why is it the draft league important when it comes to data?
Well, I mean, the Draft League is our biggest source of data. I mean, like it's 70 games a week. I don't know where else. I mean, like I'm sure you're getting at least 70 games else, but not. I'm at least recording the results of 70 games a week, and I have the faction data and faction versus faction, how each faction is doing, etc. It's our biggest, most consistent way to kind of get that data, other than the playtest form, which it's kind of subject to people wanting to fill it out.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. 70 games a week that's a lot. Do you feel like you're able to digest that enough? Like, do you take that and be like, what I'm doing with this data is helpful, or do you feel like you could be doing more? Because obviously there are limitations to what you could just do yours by
So
yourself with
there's
this.
there's a lot to consider with Draft League, right? Like right now, FO and Draft League is the faction that has the worst record. Republic has the best record. FO has the worst record. But there's a lot of things to consider that too. So like first order, the average draft position of the Republic player is 68, but the average draft position of a first order player is 90. And that doesn't always mean that first order players are worse players or whatever. Just typically, if you're drafted later, you're, probably, not known in the community, So, like, there's just, plus you get to know the faction or you get to know who you're playing, the faction and the scenario. So you got to get to tech for that scenario in Draft League. So you have to consider all that. But it's also good to see, like, everything coming in. But this is why I want so bad for those, all those tournaments happening to like or MetaWing to put in like an XWA filter or whatever because it was so good seeing in like the non GT the guys that pulled out the Polish one pulled out
Yeah.
from being a GT. It was so good seeing the data and then having like I think it was like 6 factions in the top 8 and then all 7 in the top 10. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good
So like
sign.
all this data is it's never definitive, but it's helpful. It can never
Yeah,
like I
never
can't
too
say
much
that
data.
First Order is by far the worst faction, but I can say that, oh hey, I see they're clipping along a little lower than everybody else. Maybe there's something we can do there, Maybe that's something we have to look at.
Yeah, and I mean, and this is a faction where, for example, you brought Kylo down from 7 to 6 with less loadout, but like Silencer Kylo being cheaper, it's just a less choices for first order list building.
Well, there's 8 ships total in the whole faction, which
Yeah,
you would think like makes it easier, but it significantly harder because there's not a lot of ships that can do. Like they have a lot of great interceptor ships, but they don't have a lot of great, you know, they don't have like a comparable to an X-wing, really. You know what I mean? Like there's
hmm
none of that. No base fighter ship.
yeah. Closest thing to it would be like an SF,
Yeah,
but the SFs don't boost or anything like that. It's they're a little bit more
I
clunky.
mean SFs are pretty good, but I think I would still take an X-wing.
Mm. Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
that's interesting. The What else has stood out to you so far as a member of the points team? Looking over draft league data, or just maybe in general, not just specific to draft league, but extending to like the Polish uh, tournaments and just in general
I guess the variety of things we've seen, I really want to know if this is like a honeymoon phase or if this is something we're gonna keep seeing. You know what I mean? Because like it's very possible that people are playing a wide variety of things right now, and then in a month, like the meta kind of emerges and it slows down on the variety. And there's no way to know that unless there's no way to know that until we know it. That and I guess CIS being super super viable because everyone's very like on release day. I can't tell you how many like Reddit posts and like podcasts and videos on the internet I watched that were like, man, CIS is dead in the water. And then it goes out and wins 2 tournaments. It's one of the top performing factions. So it kind of took me off guard.
how do people read, like they look at something and they just decide like objectively this is the way it is, and even when you see all of the things that they can do now, like bombardment drones with proximines, for example, which might get nerfed at some point,
It's because it's so hard to take things in overall context when you're reading a PDF and you just see green or
of
red.
one faction. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. I have experience with that. Yeah.
It's impossible to be like, see red and be like, oh, that's actually a buff because this went down, this went down, this went down, but you're not looking at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
that
like,
context
or like you
matters.
see something unchanged and you're like, but if the power level went down and this remained unchanged, that means it's better. That's actually a buff. It's just hard for people to, and it's like, it's hard when you're creating it too. Like I said, like the unintended consequences of a one change to a point thing. And then like 2 weeks later, you're working on a completely different faction. And you're like, oh, well, now this loadout has to change because we did this 2 weeks ago. I don't know.
Are you guys all kind of focusing on specific factions to try for the workload? It's just like, like you might just be looking more at, I know with Draft League, you're looking at everything, but are you divvying up kind of what you're hyper focusing on because there is so much nuance and so much volume of stuff to keep track of, or you just
No,
no?
it's pretty much we just kind of right now have a list of like things to watch. So like no decisions have been made for update number beta update 3. Right now it's just like, all right, this could be a concern, this could be a concern, this could be let's just watch this. Let's play a few games with this, try to get that out, like see if it's an actual problem or if it's just something that's good. Cause I mean, you can't like everything that ends up being good, you can't just like immediately take it away. Like, it's like, all right, this faction's allowed to be good every once in a while. Like, it's
Yeah, just
okay.
because it's good doesn't mean it needs to be nerfed, right? Yeah, I mean,
Right.
it, with how long the draft league's going, do you how if you were to ballpark a number of of additional updates we might see to the beta points, like what do you think? You think it might change twice over the course of the season? Two more times, or I mean, obviously, don't this is not set in stone. What Greg says is not the final.
Yeah, I have
This is
no
not
idea.
definitive. Yeah, but you could see it changing again at least probably at least one more time.
I could see one more. If anything new comes through development, and I don't have any information. I don't know what's happening there. But if anything new were to come through development, then that would be a good excuse to make a couple changes, just kind of like the SLs. That'd be like good timing, because you don't want to do like multiples if you can avoid it. So like I could see one more, but I can't really guarantee it. I don't really know. To be honest with you, I don't really.
Fair enough. No, no worries.
Once the GT circuits ended and we have all the information from the GTs and then all the other tournaments that are not GTs, and then we have a little more draft league data and like way more playtesting. We'll have a better indication of things, but if it were up to me, we'd make one every week and just keep slowly getting it right. I know that that's not feasible and not
Yeah.
how anyone wants to do it, except for me.
That would be wild. That would be wild. My last question before we wrap up, Greg, is like, what was like one hill you just had to die on when it came to internal testing?
Like a ship or something.
Yeah, pilot or some sort of combination, or like we can't
Absolutely.
have this. Like Dash comes to mind as an example I've heard in the past. That I want to say that
Okay.
was that's
So Dash's title, the Outrider title, was errated. It's not a new title like Slave One. So there's not both available. It's errated, meaning custom Dash with the four natural dice could take that title. And then even without Jan, just with a simple trick shot, would have a six dice primary attack with juke. I don't remember what Sevall calculated it out to, but like I think he was saying it was like a 30% chance of one shotting an X-wing. Like it was just insane, just an insane
yeah, that's
thing to take.
rough.
And like I was getting ready to throw the riot pill if we weren't going to take the title away from that Outrider or that custom Lebo, because like I'm big on like ships that should have the title having the title. Like 066 gets the title back because 066 flew that ship, should have the title. But man, I was like, there's no other way to mitigate this besides making them 58 points or making this title not applicable to this four dice dash. Like it just couldn't. The new title is way too good.
Yeah, that sounds like miserable. Like that just shouldn't exist. Like literally game breaking stuff.
I mean, there was
Yeah,
a lot of stuff about Jan too. Like even 3 points made Jan like just way too survivable because she needs to have a weakness. Like we know she doesn't get played at 6 points. Like we know that from AMG's pricing. So if she were going to be in the game at 5, and I don't love it about myself, but I floated. I was like, should we give her the title? Is not giving her the title the kind of like nerf that makes her well balanced? And I still think it might be, but like it's also Jan. Like,
yeah. And at 5 points without the title, it becomes difficult for some people to make the argument to take, right?
yeah, but also it's like Jan. It's like the one thing she's known for.
It's her,
Like
yeah, yeah.
it's
It's
her
literally
ship.
the Moldy Crow is her ship. Yeah, I know. Well, that's so. When I was doing 312 points before, you guys were doing the beta points. Like people were like, "Why don't you just remove the title?" And I'm like, "Jan Ors is not losing the title. Like it is her ship. That literally
It
makes no
yeah.
sense."
It's just there's just some lines where you're like, I don't know. And I'm happy where we ended up with her. I think the no loadout thing was a good idea that actually has worked in making her somewhat like she's not hard to kill. She's not hard to kill,
Yeah.
but she's still worth it for a rebel squad to pump up the damage.
Oh,
But
absolutely,
like,
for sure. It's nice to see her get played, for sure. I mean,
yeah,
Jan's fun.
but there were
Jan's
just
great
like
for a streamer as well.
there were just like a couple things where, like I felt strongly that Grievous shouldn't lose Impervium or should always be
Right.
able to take Impervium, just because that was kind of Grievous's thing. Ollie convinced me about the title because we made the title 9 points and then outmaneuver 9 points. So you kind of have to choose which flavor of Grievous you want. But I fought really hard for those 2 extra points for Impervium either way. Because it just like that to me like defined Grievous as the pilot, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because otherwise I think he'd be really easy to kill.
Yeah, he's a cupcake, pretty much. He does
Yeah.
get the defensive reroll and it does like help, but like he's not exactly killing it.
Yeah.
That's not why the CIS is performing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any insight on this, and I don't think I should. But it's cool to hear about it. Just kind of at how you guys are operating and like what some examples of things you guys were deliberating on before we got to where we are now. Overall, is like from the PR perspective, like the feedback has been pretty. The reception has been pretty strong in favor of like positivity. It's the same usual folks who are saying the same usual things that are negative. I know that critiques and criticism is expected, and obviously we should embrace that. But in the right kind of faith is just the most important factor. Just that people are coming at us with ideas and helpful data, filling out the playtest form if you do. Don't suggest or demand things. Just say this seemed good, this seemed bad, this is how it went. That's the best way to, in an unbiased way, deliver data to the people who are going to use it for the right reasons, right? So, if you are getting games in with the beta points, you can fill out the playtest form. We blasted the link or all around the discords. I can also really quickly drop it in the Twitch chat. It'll be in the description for the podcast as well. So let me pull that up. While I do that, Greg, is there any like last words on the topic before we kind of close out?
I mean, lest you think those playtest forms aren't like being read, we read them all. Literally, like half the time, my arguments to Ollie are like just quotes from the playtest forms, where I'm like, well, this is what people are saying. This is how they feel about it. Like, I mean, they're important. I understand not every game you play you're gonna have time to fill out a playtest form, but the
But
ones
try
you
to if you
can,
can.
yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's do our little outro here. All
Live
right,
from New
thank
York, it's Saturday night.
not live from New York. Ending the live from New York. Thank you, Greg, for your work with the XWA Points team and running the Draft League. Season 6 has just begun. We're in week 3, so be sure to watch Greg's streams Tuesdays and Thursdays. He's doing 3 games on each of those days right now, so definitely support him. Join his channel or his Discord if you haven't already, which I'm sure you are in his Discord. Subscribe on YouTube, all that. I'll put all those links in the description. Make sure you follow us on Twitch, catch us live. You can watch edited replay content on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and join our Discord. And thank you to all of our patrons here at 31 $ for making this possible and just allowing us to be able to do more. We streamed an event in South Bend the other day, a live event. It's awesome doing in-person X-Wing. We hope to do a lot more of that next year with the XWA beta points. And that is going to do it. Thank you all so much for listening. My name is Nick.
I'm Greg. Are we?
There it is. That's just what we do. We just say our names for some reason. Nobody knows who we
It's
are.
not part of the rundown you gave me.
And thank you all so much for listening. Speaking of, my cat is destroying my Legos.
Yeah, get him. Get him. That's Dutch. That cat just killed Dutch.
She's just like clawing at the Y-wing. That's great.
The cat
There's
killed Dutch.
still an empty space over here from where the A-wing was because she knocked it over. Even though I've like taped the stands down and everything, she found a way to knock it over, which is cool. So I was in the middle of playing a beta points game casually when that happened. It was just a massive explosion in my room. Like, I'm gonna have to step away for a second. Can you pause the timer? Sorry.
Solid.